In a surprise move, the Reserve Bank of India today cut its repo rates by 25 basis points to 7.75%, making it the first rate cut since May 2013. The interest rate comes after inflation showed signs of cooling down. The industry participants have been lobbying for a much bigger cut and were expecting the governor to announce it in the February policy. While this unexpected early move was welcomed by the industry, most believe a 0.25% cut is not sufficient to revive the investment cycle. For consumers, though, it's good news. Home loans and auto loans are expected to get a little cheaper. Welcome everyone to a show dedicated to all those of you who dream of a fabulous vacation or second home by the beach or in the lush green mountains or even a farmhouse right outside of your city. And every year, right after a vacation, this longing for a vacation home becomes even stronger. So today on the show, we will zero down on 4 questions. How do you pick the right location for a vacation home? What is the right size and kind of home you should be buying? How do you strike a good deal for a second home property? And finally, the big question, is it really an investment for the rich, or is there some money sense for a lot many of us to go out there and fulfill our dream of a vacation home? My panelists today, Naveen Jacob Mathew, Executive Director, Montrose Coorg; Santosh Naik, Managing Director and CEO, Disha Direct Marketing Services; Mudassir Zaidi, National Director, Residential Agency, Knight Frank India; Arshad Jafri, Operations Head, EHPL India; Om Chaudhary, Founder and CEO, Fire Capital Fund. Gentlemen, thank you very much for joining me today. I don't even know, I would like to ask who has, I think we should do a dipstick on who has a vacation home where, and that person gets the first question, isn't it? The most awesome destination. So Goa, Mudassir, anything in Goa?
I have some property in Goa, no doubt about it.
See, I knew it. All right, Goa is topping the destination there. Arshad, where's your second home?
Probably Naukuchia Tal in Nainital.
Probably. That means he has so many. He's wondering. He's only willing to reveal one name. Okay, Om Chaudhary, second home destination of your choice.
If I get to spend time in my home, I think that's enough. So a second home is not for now. Don't have that luxury yet.
All right, Santosh, you must have many.
Yeah. But Alibag is a preferred destination.
Alibag is a preferred destination. Naveen Jacob Mathew, your preferred destination in and around your city?
Well, I actually live in Ooty, and the rest of the time I spend between Coorg and Kumarakom. So I pretty much live in a holiday destination. So don't have to look at something
we are all
else.
extremely jealous of you, and we are wondering why have you been invited on the show? Here's someone who doesn't get time enough to spend in his first home. Anyway, gentlemen, on a very serious note, let's get down to just spinning down on people, on the second home destinations of India. What is it that should drive the location? So, Naveen, I know that you live in Ooty, but if you were to live in a city like Bangalore, anywhere in India, just low common denominator points that one should use, thumb rules one should use to pick up a second home destination.
Okay, to be very honest, I live in Ooty because one, we are a condo hotel chain, and it's that in essence is also a second home concept that we are also doing. And when you're choosing a second home, it's so important that one, it's easily accessible for you, meaning you have to be able to go there on a weekend. If you're not able to do that, then there's no point in you having a second home.
Okay, so weekend where it's easy to drive down to. So what happens to all the Goa properties, Mudassir? Delhiites are crazy about a property. Either it has to be in the hills, at the bottom or the top of the Himalayas, wherever they can reach, or it has to be Goa, which is fairly far off, isn't it?
Yeah, I would say it's a personal choice. Some people would like the lush greenery and the the atmosphere and the climate that you get in the hills. Some people like the sea and the sights and sounds of the place around that. I would go for both, one property each in the hills or definitely near the sea.
Good Lord. I need to ask how much Knight Frank is paying him, one property in each. Or is the bonuses which add up at the end of the year with all the transactions? Anyway.
Certainly that.
Okay. So you're saying one in the hills and one by the seaside. Why not? Okay, so 2 properties if you can afford, and those pretty much fulfill your needs. Arshad, how would you, in terms of simple advice, what would you tell people? Is it going to be totally passion, emotion driven, or is it going to be something like we just heard, oh, a drive, a place where you can reach over the weekend, a drive away?
Actually, being a good consultant, I should have asked a question before telling anything.
Okay.
I ask the people what you have in your mind, what is driving you toward a property. Actually, you are intended to buy a property. That is why you are here.
Huh.
And I just try to get their thoughts, what they are up to actually. If they are intended to buy a property for an investment kind of purpose, then I have different things in my satchel to tell them.
Okay.
If they are just passionate about a thing, about nature, about love, about a romantic scenery, or just a morning when they are having a cup of tea in their hand and watching the birds singing up beside them.
Okay. So you have different advice for different groups of people?
Definitely. We all have different natures and different kind of thought process, different kind of pocket.
This is going to make the discussion go absolutely nowhere, but I'm still going to try and pin down and get some answers. Om Chaudhary, second home destination. Internationally, it's a huge investment opportunity. It's seen as that, but in India, it's mostly driven by emotion and passion.
It is, but if you were to also look at options, for example, if somebody is living in Mumbai, lives in a 2-bedroom apartment, is looking for an opportunity to spend the weekends, let the kids go out, enjoy, have a backyard. So there are those options also, and we're seeing a lot of that, where on the outskirts of a Bangalore, even on the outskirts of tier 2 cities, where you come in with an option with a lot of sports, horse riding, this, that, and the other thrown in, and you sell homes around that concept and that golf destinations. It's not something that if you're slightly away from the city, and in tier 2 cities, stuff like this is now catching on, and that is something that we're seeing, happen in a big way.
All right, Santosh Nayak, what are your own impressions? So, we have NCR where people don't really live in small homes. They already have comfortably sized homes, and therefore, I think they need to head out to the hills or to Goa. When you look at MMR and Mumbai region, people live in small homes. And I was reading this really interesting report where a family said even going to Alibag is such a huge relief for us. Just the greenery, the space. Karjat has become a great destination. So around MMR, I see a huge spurt of second home destinations, isn't it?
Yeah. So being in the industry for last 12 years, we have understood some consumer insights, why people basically buy second home. So first, it is a symbol of success. When he buys a second home, he thinks he has arrived in life. Second is, he wants to spend a quality time with the family. Third is investment. And fourth is, of course, the retirement option. So these are the four consumer insights what we found. And what normally person looks when he buys a second home is the destination or location where he is buying, the connectivity and distance, the growth potential, and of course the nature and greenery around. So keeping these things in mind, I think there are 4 highways in MMR region. A Mumbai-Nasik highway where Shahpur is upcoming second home destination. On Mumbai-Ahmedabad highway, Monor and Wada, these are the destinations we are growing as a second home destination. On Mumbai-Goa highway, Alibag because of beaches and tourist attraction. And Mumbai-Pune highway, which is the evergreen destination, we are looking at Lonavala, Khandala and Kamshins. So these are the few destinations which are popular, or few of the destinations which are upcoming destination for second homes.
All right. Okay, so let me go back to now how this market has evolved. Mudassir, if I'm not mistaken, there are 2 ways that this market has evolved. One is that you had agricultural land, huge patches of them, which got then converted into the farmhouse sort of concept. There was a lot of land available in many pockets of Goa, which then the properties got developed. And there are, of course, developers who have gone in, bought large pieces of land and even built apartments. So what are some of the key trends that you see in second home and vacation homes?
See, one thing is very clear that second homes are largely connected with the economic conditions that a country is going through. In good times, people have enough money, have enough liquidity, enough faith that in times to come, good times will roll on. So people will buy not just their first homes, but keep on investing in properties, and second homes will definitely figure high on their list. In the last few years, we've definitely seen that taking a beating, especially from from an investment point of view. People have rather continued to stick to tier 1 cities rather than go to tier 2 cities or to destinations only from a point of view of investments. But people who are serious about having a second home for leisure, that has continued to happen. So if it's in and around Delhi, then the hill cities around Nainital, Mussoorie, Dehradun, etc. have definitely kept the interest up. If it's Mumbai, then the locations that Santosh just talked about, be it Alibag or be it the Lonavala Khandala area, has always been interesting. In terms of downturn for leisure, that takes that theme takes a beating. But in good times, investments and all the other themes that Santosh talked about, retirement and for growth, etc. People do look at these locations, etc. So it will always be cyclical, connected with the economy. As such.
In fact, that's precisely what I was going to come to. I also read a report that this is a market which is recession-proof because it's not so connected to the economy. People do it because of emotional reasons, and these spots or these locations are also not easily available. Naveen, Jacob, what do you think? There was a time, I read a report between 2005 and 2008, there was a research done, the sales of second homes went up or jumped up by 50%. Do you think that post 2008 actually there's been a decline in the demand for second homes?
To be honest, I don't think so. Like you said, a lot of these decisions to buy a second home or a holiday home is more of, like you said, emotionally driven. And it is something that people, to me, honestly, I don't think it's actually come down.
You don't think demand has come down? Om, would you agree with that? That the demand's not come down? This is let's say a downturn-proof industry or a recession-proof industry?
If I were to break it up into parts, there's one part which is, the aspirational purchase, and it's
that will never change.
That will never change. Like, so that good times and bad, people aspire to have a home in Goa, they'll go get it. There could be certain blips where people will wait for the right time to buy, but that's temporal. But largely, the other segment is what I was talking about earlier. So if somebody is looking to buy a second home where they can go retire, or if it could also be functional, where you could buy a second home in a city. If you live in a smaller town, you buy a second home in a gateway city, which is where all the educational centers are. When your kids grow up, that's where you would want to be. So it's functional from that standpoint. You buy a second home, and at one point in time, you'll go and live there. Now, that purchase is a purchase that people could stagger and say that, maybe I wait and do this 2 years later or 3 years later, because in some ways, purchase of a second home is like art. You go and say, I buy art, I get to use it, and it also appreciates. And so there's also a time when you buy it.
Absolutely.
So from that standpoint, there could be situations. So I wouldn't say this is recession proof.
All right, we're going to come back in terms of how do you get from a developer perspective, how do you get a second home or a vacation home project right? It's not an easy one. I do know lots and lots of developers are stuck with inventory. Homes are not selling even in great locations like Kasauli, which were absolutely a darling of Delhi Richie Rich. Those are not selling. So we're going to come back, look at that, and we're going to keep aside the homes for the rich. We've already established that they really don't care. If they want to own a second home, they will. How about the rest of the population which is aspiring for a second home? The upper middle income group, should they go in for it or not? Does it make a good investment or not? Those are some of the questions we still need to tackle with. Stay with us. Who buys second homes or vacation homes in India? Well, we've actually collated some data and find that this buyer segment is usually in the age bracket of 35 to 45. So if you've made it and you do aspire to have a home in the lush green mountains or by the sea, this is when that desire really strikes and people go out and do it. The second home market now caters not only to the ultra high net worth investor crowd, but also the upper middle class. So that's been a big shift in the recent years. People say, all right, should I buy a second property in the city as an investment or dump it? Should I just go out and buy a second property and go? Lots more, at least I'm seeing around me, that people are taking that option of buying an apartment in Goa rather than just buying a second property in Gurgaon or Noida. So that's another big one. That's a change which has happened in the last 10 years or so. Now, if you look at what's going to happen, India, HNIs, the number is expected to more than double over the next 10 years, rising by 126%. So you could have a bigger and bigger trend of second homes. You could also have of HNIs investing in homes abroad. Now, that's from the Knight Frank Wealth Report. It's a very big point which came about. We're joined by Jimmy Mistry, Principal Architect and CMD of Della Technica. Jimmy, thank you very much for joining in. So we've already asked everybody. We started the panel discussion by saying, what is your favorite location? And also on national TV, tell us how many second homes do you own and where all? So that we can help the viewers decide what are the best places to buy a second home in. So Jimmy, with you on that question.
It's my pleasure being here. And absolutely my second home destination, chosen one, is Lonavala. That's where we are developing. And I see the demand going in. Ideal second home locations are located between multiple cities together. So you have the advantage between cities. Lonavala falls between Bombay and Pune.
Okay.
And I do own a second home in Lonavala. I do own a second home in Udwara, which is by the sea.
Okay.
The entire segment of second homes is really now maturing in the country, which never used to exist before.
All right. So I think one theme that I caught from many people who own second homes was the management of a second home. So you build it, or maybe buy it, but you pretty much have to lock it up. You can't go there. If you can't go there very often, then you only visit it twice a year. How do you manage these properties? So, you know, Santosh, that must be a big question that comes from your clients, isn't it? How do I manage this property when I'm away?
So basically, when people buy a second home, they buy it for leisure or an investment. The only question what they have in mind, how do I manage the property? So having around 12,000 customers, we have set up a property management cell. It's called Disha Care. And every project being developed or marketed by us, we have a property management cell. So we take care of not of only the project, but their individual houses also.
Okay.
So people don't have to worry about the cleaning, the maintenance, or the the plumbing or electrician part. And that's why people buy preferring the second homes where the management has been taken care of. I think that is the key of driving the second home sales in nearby cities of Mumbai.
Naveen, Jacob, more and more projects such as this, even in a city like or a destination like Ooty, where most of these come up in a cluster, and then they are independently managed by an independent management company?
What I can tell you is what we actually do. For example, if you look at our second home projects, most of these projects are associated with being hotels, because a holiday home is something, like most of you said, someone uses it maybe twice in a year, maybe 3 times in a year. So the rest of the time, it's literally a draining asset. So a lot of people opt not to buy it because you know from the moment you buy it, it's going to drain you.
Okay.
And if you look at like any of our projects, it actually turns out a return. It actually pays for itself. It actually returns a certain amount of money back to its customer. So people actually never feel a cost of having a holiday home. In fact, they actually they profit by it.
So run us through the numbers. Run us through the numbers. How does it all add up?
Well, I'll give you a fair idea of this. It's basically in the lines, the concept in line of a condo hotel.
Okay.
A condo hotel, in essence, is owned individually by a respective person. For example, if you look at our project that we're launching in Coorg, someone is buying a villa, or he is buying a portion of an en-suite in a building, And this property is registered in his name. It is his holiday home. But for the time that he is not using it, this in fact runs as a hotel property. Okay. And the hotel management actually takes care of the upkeep, the maintenance, the refurbishing, and they also get a systematic return on it.
All right, so is this return a fixed amount or is it variable to the occupancy? So how does this work? Is it a fixed amount?
It is variable to the occupancy, yes.
It's variable to the occupancy. So Airbnb, isn't that a great model? I mean, everything, you can list your property even online. You don't even need a large management company. Mudassir, the world is changing, isn't it?
Sure, absolutely. Obviously, this concept of the condo hotel concept that he's talking about is very, very similar to the timeshare concept, which had taken off. Which is a pretty old concept as such, but which was more in terms of where you don't really register a property in your name. Here in this case, the condo hotel works in a manner where it's actually registered in your name, and there is a separate management company which tries and leases it out in the short term and gives you a return on that. So, which is a far better concept, I would say. Earlier on, people weren't very, very happy with the timeshare thing because you wouldn't sometimes get it when you want. In your own property, you wouldn't get it when you want. And you would have had to really, possibly commit to a time, 7 days a year or 15 days a year, etc., pretty much in advance. And it became difficult and when everybody wanted it during vacation time, that was a time when it wasn't available. So, this other concept is far better in that sense. And, there are a number of developers who are evaluating this. But having said that, people generally, compare that with pre-leased properties, etc. It becomes difficult for most people to digest the fact that these are not fixed returns that are available on the property. So therefore, it will take some time before people really realize that it is a holiday or a second home destination, and this is only an additional income that one should look at rather than as a primary source of earning on that particular property.
Okay,
as such.
so then let's come to the question of capital appreciation. Om Chaudhary, I hear that in a destination like Goa, it's very easy to buy a property, but it's extremely difficult to sell one. And similarly, in many of the hill station destinations, very easy to buy, but in case you wanted to sell in a couple of years, it's not so easy to sell. Why is that?
It's true, and I think what one plays on is the emotion, and there is you offer the security of the appreciation, but you typically end up thinking that whoever buys will never sell, feel comforted by the fact that there is appreciation but never sell. And you're right, when people go out to sell, and it's we don't have huge data to back this up with, because this is not a very, very entrenched concept in India, so you can't go back 30 years and say we've got data to say that you can't sell, and what you buy at is different, what you sell at is different. But having said that, it is not easy.
I'm going to go actually to Jimmy and say, Jimmy, honestly, second homes, one should buy with that perspective that, hey, it's going to be an illiquid investment. I may find a buyer, but I may not find a buyer easily, isn't it?
Let us understand what is happening with the second home segment. The industry is just growing. It's in its nascent stage, and now we are at a point where people are understanding. So whoever had bought second homes 5 years back, the design standards, the gated community, operations, maintenance point of view, they would not be getting value for money today. So today, if I'm a fresh buyer, I'd rather go in for a new project, which is brand new, better design, better amenities, and a more of a gated community concept than a standalone concept. Hence, it becomes difficult to buy older properties. But if you bought a property which is well maintained in a gated community, there is no reason why you should find any difficulty in being able to sell it.
Okay, Santosh, I see that you have a point there. Tell me.
Yeah. So basically what our experience says is all these second home destinations eventually will become a first home destinations because proximity to city. I'll give you a classic example of Talegaon. Talegaon was a very small town between Lonavala and Pune. We started promoting in 2005-06 as the best second home destination. We used to sell plots, flats, apartments, villa. Plots we used to sell at 75 rupees a square feet, flat at around 800 rupees a square feet, villa between 15 to 20 lakhs rupees each villa. 5 years, 6 years down, and the whole town, because of industries, because of MIDC, suddenly it has become a first home destination. The plot which we sold at 75 rupees is being, marketed or sold at around 1,000 to 1,500 rupees a square feet. So all these destinations will eventually become, as I told you, the Shahpur, which is very close to Mumbai, the Karjat, the Alibag, the Wada, Manor. All this eventually will become a first home destination, and it is a big investment, and people are able to sell their second home in these areas as of today also.
Okay, so from what I'm guessing, or what I've actually surmised from all this discussion is, if you're buying closer to large cities where the probably driving distance is between 4 and 7 hours, then it could be a big investment or a good, decent enough investment. It could even become a first home destination as the city grows. But if you're taking a punt in far off places, it could be illiquid investment. Mudassir, would that be a correct reading?
See, we're looking at that. See, these markets behave very differently. I mean, we're comparing it with the first home market, which are in tier 1 destinations, which have their own set of economic, drivers for which people buy there. So these will obviously behave differently from the tier 1 market. The tier 1 markets are far more deeper, have a far larger demand pool available. Okay. Here you're talking about a tier, no, I wouldn't say a tier 2 destination, but a second home destination, which will have a far lesser demand pool in that sense comparatively.
Right,
so people will have to enter it with the right mindset. It's not going to be a commodity that we're buying and selling just the way it can be done possibly in a city like Mumbai or in Delhi NCR as such, where things are made to look alike, have a similar layout, will have standardized sizes, etc., etc. There it would be far more since emotions are at play. The location per se within that city, the sights, the sounds, accessibility. People will have various things to look at and like and not like about.
All right, we're going to be back, and we're going to also look at what's happened historically in some of the best or top second home vacation destinations of India. For example, what's going on in the Goa market. It remains everybody's favorite. There's Alibag, there's Lonavala, and of course, there are lots of destinations around NCR. So any of these which are worth looking at, both from the perspective of a great life, a great weekend getaway, or a good change in lifestyle, as well as investment or capital appreciation. Welcome back to the Realty Debate on which could be the best spot in the country to buy a second home. So I'm going to go across to my first guest, who I started the discussion with, Naveen Jacob. I know you've already said Ooty and Coorg, but if you were to look at South India map as a whole, tell me which is a place to go out there and buy?
Well, to be honest, if I'm going to advise someone to buy something, I would still stick between the, two of South India's most popular, maybe hill station destinations. That's definitely Ooty and Coorg, for the reasons we were just discussing before, The reason being your appreciation of property is a lot higher in these places where the demand is always at the highest. There are always people looking at buying new homes there.
Okay.
So, to me, I would still stick on with these two because because you are able to sell it when you want it.
Why not Mysore? I hear that Mysore is a great second home destination as well. It's also a city. It has great quality of living. What are your thoughts on Mysore?
But again, most people, to me, who are looking at buying a second home want a change of the basic place they're in. Mysore is a city as well. Like you said, it's a city.
Okay.
So a lot of people already come from large cities. They don't want to be in a city. They want to be in a mountainous region. They want to be where there are trees, there's a garden.
Point taken. Though Mysore is actually emerging as a great destination, at least for retirement communities. Santosh, your top picks?
Yeah. So basically there are a lot of options available now in second home. People can buy the plots between 10 to 20 lakhs, the apartments between 20 to say 40 lakhs, and the bungalows and villas say 50 to say 5 crores. So depending on their budget.
Look at investment, Santosh, what would be the sweet spot amongst all these? Villas, I would assume, would be the toughest to actually sell, isn't it? or the lowest to
So
appreciate?
basically, yeah. So the destination and the budget. So I think the Alibag would be, according to me, the best destination for investment. And the smaller destinations, which are emerging destinations, are Karjat is there on Mumbai Goa highway, Shahpur on Mumbai Nasik highway, and Wada and Manora on Mumbai Ahmedabad highway. These are emerging investment destinations for second homes.
Okay, Jimmy Mistry, Lonavala has been particularly slow. I know that sales are not happening. What will it take to pick up? It really has the perfect location between Mumbai and Pune and should be able to actually get both the buyers or both city buyers interested.
It is picking up as and when organized players are entering this segment, they are landing up offering a lifestyle which was missing before. When a price bracket of 4 to 5 crores for a villa is considered, the person who's buying it already enjoys a certain kind of lifestyle in the city in its first home, and definitely would like to appraise this lifestyle when they look for a second home. Too many projects are not available of this nature within Alibag or within areas. Two upcoming areas that come to my mind, which are still having a lot of sweet spot and scope. One is Pauna, which is very beautiful, mountains, water. You can do water sports activities within the dam. It's a beautiful, picturesque region, not very far. It's about 2.5 hours from Bombay. And the second one that comes to my mind, which is a completely new region, not developed by people, is Panchet. Panchet is about 4.5 to 5 hours from Bombay. It's on the backwaters of Lavasa. And Panchet is one more sweet spot destination which is going very cheap right now. And if an organized development comes up, which is a lifestyle giver across to the entire gated community, there is a lot of scope in this particular segment as well.
Wow, Jimmy, I have to come and see Pavna and Panchet, both of these. You've just made them sound so lovely. All right, Arshad, your
They're beautiful, believe you me.
Okay, Arshad, your picks in NCR. Probably that's closer to my home.
And there's a place I love, that is Naukuchiya because of the scenic beauty, the deepest lake of Nainital, and the birds around there.
And maintenance is not a problem in Naukuchiya?
Maintenance is not a problem there with the property I just developing there is Solis Exotica. You can have that home for 2 months, anytime when you wish in a year. And rest of period, we will manage it, we will run it as a resort, and you will get the benefit we are getting from there.
Okay, fair enough. So that's another destination added. Om, don't take us to Kufri. Do not take us to Kufri.
Okay,
I know you have a project there.
Kufri, Kasauli being out of the equation. I think in the north.
No, Kasauli is not out of the equation. Kasauli is a good destination, but you, yeah.
Okay. No, I think the other segment that has worked well is, religious centers. So second homes, and I don't know whether people are more religious in the north, or it's just that you have the Mathuras and the Vrindavans close by, or the other option is the Rishikesh, Haridwar option. So there are a lot of those also where they're very easy to get to from the national capital region. And we were talking earlier about appreciation and would one be able to sell if they've made an investment. I think these are safer in terms of appreciation and the ability to resell compared to homes in the hills, which again are you fall in love with what you buy, and for somebody else to feel the same way and give you the appreciation that you seek becomes a little more difficult.
Okay,
so
fair enough.
From that standpoint, these religious centers, second homes there would work better.
All right, from a pure investment point of view, I don't know how many of us, if we don't have the religious bent of mind, would really want to go and stay.
Exactly.
Okay, Mudassir, final word, anything that you've spotted in your surveys, especially, which could be great investment locations from an investment perspective as well?
See, Goa is my perennial favorite in that sense, because it has, it's more of a national destination rather than a regional destination.
Absolutely.
So all other places would be, are important because they're near to a particular city, for example, 5 or 6 hours away from that. Obviously you can drive down from Pune or Mumbai into Goa, or even from Bangalore, or the rest of the country actually flies into Goa. That is one destination that is a national one. It has its own economy as well. A lot of people there have enough money to buy, and which therefore has for exits, etc., that would be a large enough demand pool. So Goa is one thing that I would really say that will always be an important second home destination.
On that note, let me thank my panelists, Naveen Jacob, Matthew, thank you very much. Santosh Naik, pleasure to have you. Jimmy Mistry, thanks again for joining us today. Mudassir, thank you very much. And Arshad Jafri, pleasure to have you with us. Om, thank you for making the time. So, second homes it is. You've come back from a holiday. Of course, you want to own one. The best way to narrow down on a destination is A, you have to be passionate about it, but B, if it's easily accessible and also not very expensive, you probably won't go wrong even with a second home purchase. Thank you very much for joining me today. Goodbye.